Feed my sheep. Do you love me? Yes, Lord, you know I love you. Then feed my sheep. That's the cutest thing. Stay out of the road, baby. Don't you dare go into the road. Going down and get another peanut butter sandwich? Yeah. And the kitties are here. And this kitty's not paying attention, but this kitty is watching. Hi folks, we are in paradise. There is paradise. There is the Garden of Eden. Glendora was given an award for being a woman activist in her 80s or 90s. And it is the Clara Lemlich Award. In 1911, you remember the horrible Triangle Fire in the Garment District of New York City, where 142 women were locked into the working place. There was a fire and they couldn't get out and they perished. After that, Clara Lemlich organized 20,000 women for women's rights in the workplace. And this award has been named after her. And the other 5 women who received the award, it's a national award, were honored for their work in the labor force, in the women's labor force. This was the first time that award was given to somebody in the media, and in the best media of all time, public access media. The award was presented on April 3rd, 2013, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord, at the Museum of the City of New York on 5th Avenue at 103rd Street, right opposite Central Park. It was swank, it was exciting, it was thrilling. About 200 people came. The room was very dark, but the little camera did its best and did get a video for you. And it is this video that I would like to show you. is it. You want to post up? This is it. The second one.
Oh, wide.
Yeah, lighter. Okay, now let me go find George and I'll be happy. Oh, I'm sorry.
The lighting is not very good here. I got it.
No, but the camera's good. Thank you.
Somebody sitting here?
Yeah, no. Are you sitting here? There's George.
No, I'm
George, my friend Potion.
Hi, George.
Potion, this is George.
Hi, how are you, George?
Josephine.
Same here.
You who, Josephine?
Josephine.
Yes? This is my friend George. What?
Oh, you brought a whole cargo down there.
This is my friend George McDermott who came all the way up from Washington, D.C.
Hello, George.
How are you doing today? It's a pleasure to meet you.
I'm having the pleasure of seeing her receive an award.
Yeah, let me sneak in there so you can get out if you got to speak.
Okay. Come on in, George. So Glendora wants me to record the whole thing here.
Oh, well, see, you should have got up here and then
The man's hot. You want to sit?
No,
where you have a
I'm
clear.
all right here.
You're not going to have a clear view.
Somebody's... No, I'm not trying to be too sick.
So I heard you came all the way up from Washington this morning.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did she say you're her son? No.
No. No, I've known Glendora since we got together at the Supreme Court in 2000. They had a rally down there.
Oh,
And,
and you've been walking ever since.
what?
You've been walking ever since.
Yeah, well, between the two of us, we probably asked for the impeachment of more judges than you can even name.
I bet.
Oh, then you were on a lot of her TV programs and stuff.
Yeah. She actually started me into my own junior news business.
Oh. George McDermott.
I report on corruption in the courts.
Oh, you do? Oh.
You're a very important man.
And the government. See, DC's full of corruption.
really?
You don't have to worry about it.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Huh?
Thank you for what you're doing.
I tried to get Doris Sassow to come over. She was a longtime friend of
Right.
her and Elaine is out of town. So, you can only do what you can do.
Right. Thank you for your card. I'll send you a newspaper that I tried to publish, but it got totally shut down.
I got five. They tried to shut me down. I've only got 504 videos on my website.
Oh.
540.
Wow.
And, luckily I have press passes from both the District of Columbia Police and from the state of Maryland. So
Oh, so you can get in anywhere.
I can go anywhere. They want to shut me down, but I'm a little bit more stubborn than that.
Usually, if you're stepping on toes, they don't like it.
Well, you know what? Every day you learn new. And my big thing is any judge who issues an order that's not signed, he's committing treason against the Constitution and fraud on the court.
What about this white supremacy in Texas? They come inside the prison.
Yeah, but I mean,
Are they kind of retaliating now in a way that they can
we have much bigger problems. You realize we've become a prison nation. Do you realize 1/4 of the people in prison in the world are in prison in Maryland?
I was for prison reform.
That?
I was
Yeah.
actively working.
So it's a sham. It's a fraud. They're using our system, they're abusing the rights and liberties of our citizens. And no, I just asked, on the 8th of March, I filed a request from all members of the Maryland House and General Assembly, the Senate, asking for the impeachment of all the appellate judges in Maryland for issuing fraudulent unsigned orders to disenfranchise our citizens of their rights.
Sometimes you can be more aware of the person your experience in life, and it makes a deeper meaning for us.
All I do is, the courts do corporations, I do victims. Courts are out to protect corporate America and the status quo of the government, and I do the victims of those two entities.
I think they need more chairs. I think they need more chairs.
The best ideas in the world, the very best ideas, if it's not fulfilled, it never becomes yours. Because you fail to ask somebody for help.
Well, I think he's okay now. I would sort of wait for my speech if you would.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how do I stop it? How do I
Just turn it off.
Okay, got it.
Many colleagues of mine who are here tonight who are all going to speak to you. We are here tonight. This is my favorite day of the entire year, and so I'm very happy to be able to share it with all of you. We're here tonight to celebrate women activists in the spirit of Clara Lemlich. And Clara Lemlich's daughter is here tonight, and this incredibly beautiful quilt by a woman named Robin, who's here tonight, and a quilt dedicated to the women, and all these beautiful women who have done amazing things that they're going to tell you about themselves, and some other beautiful women that we've honored in years past. So I'd like to begin by having present and past honorees to stand up so we can applaud them, because that's the point of tonight. Okay, you don't have to stand up anymore.
Learned about her 7-decade career in local TV, and I was really impressed with the way that she put importance on documenting the stories of the local community, so the little people. And I learned a lot along this path of being with Glendora about persistence and about resilience against institutions in particular that try to censor the local people's voices and from our communities. In 1994, Cablevision canceled Glendora's public access TV show for not liking something that she had to say. And instead of letting them violate that public access law that states that no PEG station may exercise editorial control, what did Glendora do? She went to the library, studied the law, and then represented herself against Cablevision and won. And no offense to any lawyers here, but she does not believe in lawyers. She believes in the law and representing herself. And since that, she had taught a lot of people in the communities she's inserted herself in and her television community about the law, and a lot of them have represented themselves. One man is here all the way from Washington, D.C., who she inspired and taught about the law, and he's won some cases against some corrupt judges. Which is a big fight. So she's taught me to represent myself, the power in self-representation, and that we all must really fight for what we believe in, like all of the women who have been honored here today and in the years past, and Clara Lemlich especially. In these struggles, in Glendora's struggles, she's taught me to be informed of those injustices that happen in this world. And knowing our rights is to be happy. She's really stuck on happiness, which I think is something that seems really difficult to get a hold of sometimes. We all deserve happiness. She has a really unique sense for the human spirit when she seamlessly inserts herself into different communities, regardless of their religions, race, class, gender, sexual orientation, and she gives space to these people in her communities to tell their stories to the public, and especially those stories that aren't covered in mainstream media. Glendora's show right now is on 68 cable stations across the United States, and I think that she makes community media to inspire others to do the same and to document their histories and the richness in their histories and the importance of our histories. And if anybody tries to stop us, make a big stink about it, and put it on TV. And also I've learned from Glendora that a little bit of humor goes a long way. So thank you, and thank you, Glendora, for teaching me that.
Hi there, folks. Do you believe in miracles? Well, Vicki and I came down from Albany today, and we found a parking place. And Esther Cohen, I asked her, do I have to give a speech? And she said, yes. And I said, well, how long? And she said, 5 minutes. So I'm going to save the last 2 minutes for the applause. transplant, I want the heart of my boss. Why? It's never been used. I regret to inform you that this month's clairvoyance meeting has been canceled due to unforeseen circumstances. A midget fortune teller escaped from jail, and the headline in the newspaper was small, medium, and large. The lawyer said, I want a new trial on the basis of new evidence. The judge says, what's the new evidence? I just found out my client has another $10,000. Adam is talking to God, and he says, God, why did you make Eve? And God says, I thought you were lonesome. Well, God, why did you make her so beautiful? So you would like her. Well, God, why did you make her so dumb? So she would like you. This church had a Bible selling contest, and the man who sold the most Bibles started severely. And the parishioner said, well, what did you say to the people to sell the most Bibles? And he said, I just said, do you want to buy a Bible, or do you want me to read it to you? Well, now, folks, the activism started during 1950s and 60s. I was on TV for General Electric, and it was a children's show, and I wanted to start out small. And as Bobby Reno said, it was a ship. And I was the skipper. And I told him that the SS Glendora stood for steamship, and they said, no, it stands for stupid show. And Bobby Reno said, you showed us little girls that we could grow up and be skippers of a ship. And we could grow up and be skipper of a satellite. And so that was kind of a good thing for young ladies to know that the world wasn't run by men. And then the next thing on TV was being able to go on TV and in 30 seconds, tell 4 jokes and do a pitch. And those were, you probably remember those were all around WNBC TV, WCBS TV, and WABC TV here in the great New York market. And then came the Glendora Happy Book, and it said, count 15 blessings every hour, and rejoice about something every quarter hour. And then came physics and love. Physics and love. What you people are talking about here tonight is love. And it occurred to me, and doesn't it to you, that love is a force. And it follows all the laws of physics. Newton's third law, Newton's second law, Newton's first law. And that's what you've been doing all of your lives. A force. Mass, acceleration, and moving people onward. Now, next activism was when Cablevision, as Victoria told you, exercised forbidden editorial control over public access TV. Don't you think that's a great institution? You cannot exercise editorial control over public access TV. We are the ones, folks, who are not owned by the corporations, and we can tell the truth. And so they took the program off the TV, and then I sued them. And the judge ruled that Glendora has a statutory right to be on TV and must be returned to TV. Now, who is Cablevision? Hey, Cablevision owns Madison Square Garden, the New York Rangers, the New York Knicks, Radio City Music Hall, the Rockettes, and Long Island Newsday. And they were told to put the program back on, and it was a pro se that did it. Now, the other lawsuits, I was in the courts for 20 years, And the corrupt judges, the crooked lawyers, and even the clerks are abominable. And I must have sued over 100 judges. George McDermott here has sued over 80. I even sued 8 judges of the Supreme Court of the United States. And upon this basis, folks, that they took an oath to protect the Constitution of the United States, and they perjured that oath. The Glendora Public Access Television Network, folks, goes from Portland, Oregon, San Francisco, San Jose, San Diego, Los Angeles, clear across the San Antonio, Texas, clear across to Washington, D.C., up the East Coast to Jersey, Philadelphia, all of the 5 boroughs of New York City where you folks live, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. And the particular activism that's going on today is happiness. And we use as our teachers Buddha, and we use Brother Lawrence, who had a great ability to stay in the presence of God, and Jesus the Christ. And now we are activism for good eating, plant-based diet, a saintly regimen of eating, and we are activists for the animals. And let's see. This is funny, I think. The kids in the old days used to say, we watch Glendora on TV. You know what they say now, folks? We watch Glendora on the computer. Isn't that interesting? Well, last thing I have to say to you all is that the activism today on TV, on the 68 TV stations, and this is 10,396 programs, is this. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbors yourself. Jesus said it, and Jesus was right.
Kathy Andrade was a recipient of the Lemlich Award in 2001.
Raising consciousness through her TV shows.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah, that's really good.
Right here we have Alina Sassower, daughter of Doris Sassower, for the Center for Judicial Accountability out of White Plains, New York.
Trying to fight judicial corruption.
And she has
Dirty work. Somebody's got to do it.
Absolutely.
15 movies on her. She is the only person who was ever framed up by the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee and put in jail for 6 months.
Yes,
And
6 months.
George is an unsung hero of the story because he was my legs. When I was incarcerated and I needed to protect the case and file papers in the court, George was always there to pick up my papers, to make copies of my papers. It couldn't have been done without him, and of course to visit me. So, yeah. So
You know what she was put in jail for?
No.
I've got the video on my website,
it's
secretjustice.com.
destruction of Congress. It's a bogus
She waited till Congress was over. They told her there was going to be a hearing. And she went to Washington, D.C. to oppose 3 corrupt New York State appellate judges who were being promoted to U.S. District Court.
One.
Okay, well, you had 3 judges there. Okay, well, the one. Okay. She waited until the hearing was concluded, till the chairman hit the gavel and said the hearing is over. And she stood up and she said these words. Mr. Chairman, I respectfully
There's
request to
citizen,
speak.
no, I said, Mr. Chairman, there's citizen opposition to Judge
Yeah, but that's what you,
based on his documented corruption as a New York Court of Appeals judge. May I testify? And for those words respectfully spoken, after the hearing had already been announced adjourned, I was nonetheless arrested.
And went to jail 6 months.
And charged with
put in DC prison for
but
6 months.
anyhow, I think we can now adjourn to the food.
They asked for nominees for next year. Her mother should definitely be.
Honey, she's got to be in her
One of the
80s or 90s.
Obviously, you would
She
think
has to be in her 80s or 90s.
Paid to do this promotion.
No,
but
no.
He's just.
No.
I am so blessed to have such a devoted friend.
You know, it's an amazing story.
And this woman is so kind, because I did
Yes.
not have a program, and she was kind enough to pass down along her program some.
You seem like a reasonable person.
And who are you?
My name is Melody Ward. I work for the Shelley and Donald Rubin Foundation.
The Shelley.
The Shelley and Donald Rubin Foundation.
Thank you for doing that.
And so,
I'm also a cinematographer and
and,
video editor.
and so, what do you do?
Oh, I wish I had one of you in Washington.
What do you do?
I need one bad.
I'm a technical advisor. I take a lot of the experience that I've learned in writing, publishing, and media markets, and I apply it to nonprofits. So I do a lot of research to find. There's a lot of free resources out there specifically for nonprofits. So I help bootstrap them.
Could I? Do you have
Well,
a card?
I do. And I'll pick you up. And here's your camera back.
I'm trying to get a nonprofit set up right now, but
That's where it starts. The minute you get your nonprofit of like your 501c3, it's like
if you want
with
to
those
see,
papers you can get all sorts of free resources.
if you want to see her story or Glendora's, I have 500.
And to have your grandchild there. Congratulations. Lovely.
Exactly. When you went over 3.
Glendora, I want to say goodbye to you.
Look, the line is now it's low. You want to get some coffee? So much. Might as well get coffee now, right?
Yeah.
Is there coffee?
I had to go to
I would if I wasn't driving.
I know that one.
Phyllis so happy. I look forward to seeing you in upstate New York.
Oh, really? I told you she lived up here. I'll find out and let you know.
Thank you. Thank you.
A mí no me molesta. Over there and look for that guy.
I like what you have to say.
Ricky, hold this, and then I'll hold you. He's still working. He's still working, honey.
Okay.
And then I'll get yours, and then I'll get mine.
Okay. I'll get something, Glennie.
Austin, laboring hard at Philly, and he was happy to report that 2 did what?
I was able to have 2 uploaded at the same time.
Whee! And that'll be number 4 and 5, I believe,
Yes.
with 1 to go tomorrow.
Yes. And that one I'm actually setting up right now.
Really?
Yes.
It makes a nice video,
Yeah.
Austin. See you doing that. And just explain to the people that you're putting it on Philadelphia's website.
Yeah, so it goes straight to their producer or whoever's in charge of putting the programs on TV. Because when we put them on DVDs, they would come out in an incorrect format, which means it was hard for their computers to read them. So I'm just sending them straight to their website, which keeps them in the right format. So it makes everything a little bit easier. Plus, we don't have to use shipping costs or stamps or anything to ship the discs over.
Thanks. How recent a development is that? In other words, how long has that been possible technologically?
Technologically, it's been possible for, like, I don't really know how the public access, like, computer, like, intermixing works, but it's been possible to upload videos and, like, to, like, 2 websites, since, like, probably like the early 2000s for normal people, like for people who are just average Joes who just got who just have the internet at their house. It's been possible since like 2000, like 3 or even earlier maybe. I think there were videos on the internet earlier than that, but I don't really know much about that because I was a kid then and I didn't get internet till like 2002 or 3 at my grandparents' house and like 2005 in my house.
Thank you, Austin.
Yeah.
Well, folks, it doesn't get any better than this. Hundreds and thousands of dandelions, green grass, and a blue sky, and a magnificent nuclear furnace up there, the sun. Hi, Austin.
Hi.
Austin, how did you finish up at Northeastern University in Boston for your first year? You've accomplished your first year.
Yeah. It turned out pretty well. I got home a couple weeks before everyone else, so I've been able to just get working and not have to worry about like talking to all the people that are still at college yet. I've been able to budget my time a little bit easier.
And did you keep the honors status? Are you still in the honors?
Oh yeah.
Because if you didn't, you'd lose your scholarship?
Correct. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so you did. And what courses did you take?
Second semester or altogether?
Second semester.
Second semester I took Intro to Spanish Culture.
Intro to Spanish Culture.
Yeah. Intermediate Spanish 2.
Intermediate Spanish 2.
Yeah. Abnormal Psychology and Social Psychology.
Did that help you with any of my friends, abnormal psychology? That's a joke, son, okay. Did it help you though, understanding?
Yeah, it does help a bit. It helps differentiate things. It can help explain, why like sometimes things can be a little off with some people, and it's not their fault most of the time.
Is it usually physical?
It's very varied. It's oftentimes physical and biological. Means it's something actually in their brain doing it, and it is also psychological a lot of the time too.
It's sad, isn't it? Because I feel this way, that God has given us everything. God has abundantly dropped everything down in our way, and not to have it go perfectly is a shame. I have something here from the Bible I want to read you folks. It's from the book of Matthew, and it's the 6th chapter, and it says, set your mind on God's kingdom and his justice before everything else, and all the rest will come to you as well. It's often put in the King James Version as, seek ye therefore the kingdom of heaven, and then everything else will follow. You know, that's so true. You want to know what we do, Austin? We put it backwards. We take the second part of that and we do all these things and try to get this and this and that, and then if we have time, we'll seek the kingdom of heaven. Well, that's backwards. Frontwards is, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and then you'll get everything you want.
Do you want me to go set the timer?
Oh, good, set
Yeah.
the timer.
Yeah,
Where is it, over in the
there.
lawn?
I'll be back in 1 second.
And then there's another one I want you to know, folks. This is Matthew 7, chapter 7, the book of Matthew, chapter 7, New Testament. And it is, treat others as you would others would treat you. Let's see if this is the New English translation. This is Matthew 7 and 12. Do I have it here, Austin? You find it right there, isn't that it? Right there. What's it say?
Always treat others as you would like them to treat you. That is the law and the prophets.
Good. Do it for me again.
Always treat others as you would like them to treat you. That is the law and the prophets.
Yeah. That's called the golden rule, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it's the golden rule because most, if not all, major belief systems and religions have some form of that rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of them didn't really have much contact, so it's a very prominent idea in, like I said, belief systems and cultures. It just said a little bit differently.
Yeah. You notice that even though he's been in Boston for 2 semesters, he said idea instead of idea. In Boston, they say "pak" to "ka."
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah.
Pak.
Ka.
Yeah.
Pak.
If there's an R on the word, they take it off. If there's no R there, they'll put one on.
Yeah.
Well, how old were you when you first heard the golden rule?
Really little. Just to treat others the way you want to be treated. That, I've been hearing that since I was like longer than I can remember.
How old are you now? 19?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
19? You're going to be 20 in November.
Yeah.
Now this one, Austin. You know, folks, the chat with Glendora is on 68 TV stations across the country. Take, for instance, the West Coast. It's Portland, Oregon, San Francisco, San Jose, Los Angeles, San Diego, San Antonio, Texas. And then it moves forward and goes up to Washington, D.C. and all up the East Coast and over to Chicago. And I have asked these TV stations, Austin, I said, why don't you make a little documentary, a little video of your operation and show the people how you run public access and show my other 67 TV stations? Guess what the response is?
Yes or no? I don't know. I'm not sure.
No.
No?
Oh, we don't have time for that. These TV stations, these public access TV stations, they are so parochial. All they're interested in is that one little operation of theirs. And,
Yeah.
they don't want to even mingle. but I think it would be fun. And so we call this the Glendora Public Access TV Network. That's a good name.
Yeah, yeah.
And tell the folks how you, when I take, excuse me, I'll turn this off. When I give you I make a videotape first of, I make a video first on SD card, right?
Yeah.
Then I put the titles, the writing on the screen. And then I put it on a DVD disc and I hand it to Austin, who is our technologist. Now, Austin, tell the folks what you do hither.
Well, like what parts? Like YouTube and
Well, tell them
right,
everything,
okay.
yeah.
All right, so for most if not all of the episodes go up on YouTube, so that if people like miss an episode on their current station, or if they live someplace that isn't supported, or just someplace that like where Glendora show isn't on the public access or anything, they can go on to her YouTube page and watch it. A very large number of her videos are on there.
I think it's 5,500.
Yeah. That's episodes. There's around like 2,000 videos, but some of them have 2 to 4 episodes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, let's just say it's 5,500 shows.
Yeah, that's good.
Half-hour shows.
And then like some other like exclusive things that you've got. But anyway, so Glendora burns her video to disk for me, and then I put it into my computer, and I take it off the disk and I put it on. I upload it to YouTube.
And you use as a ripper handbrake.
Yeah, I use when it's on the Macintosh or an Apple, whichever you prefer to call it. It is through handbrake, and when I use Glendora's computer to do it, then it's through a program called WinX.
That's because my computer is a Hewlett Packard.
Yeah, it runs Windows. Yeah,
runs Windows 7.
So Glendora's computer, I'll only rip it if it's going straight to YouTube. But if I have to edit it or piece together parts of episodes, or put in my own titles, because the format that Glendora's titles come in doesn't meet the approval of some people, of some stations, yeah. So I do them manually in iMovie, which is it's a free movie editing software that comes with Macs. It's pretty simple and easy to use, but it gets the job done pretty well. So if like a video gets split up into like 3 segments, and I have to because it can only rip segments one at a time, so the videos can either come in one big segment, so I can put it directly onto YouTube or burn it directly to disk. But if it is split up at all, I need to put it into iMovie and save it with them all pieced together. And then I burn it to a disc, and they can't have titles on them, a couple of the stations, so I do that. I burn it without titles. And then I give them back to Glendora, and she ships them out.
Well, he gives me back his... In the meantime,
Yeah.
I'm doing something else, all on video. Mine is not what you call computer, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not computer based. It is.
Mine's all video, all
Yeah.
DVD recorders.
Yeah, it is technically like digital in a way, but it's not like a computer though. It's digital. Like DVDs are a digital medium, but you're not using a computer to do it though. You're doing it in a fashion similar to analog editing.
And folks, I have 18 DVD recorders, and 14 of them are VHS DVD combo, and I'll never be using VHS again. It's gone.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame.
It's a shame.
Yeah. I mean, they are bigger and bulkier, and a little bit more difficult to like work with, and you can't rewind as easily. And
No, you can't,
Yeah.
and you can't queue up you can't tape, you can't video over a disc.
yeah, well, some discs you can, but the public DVD minus ours you cannot, and that's the one that are most compatible with
No,
with the stations.
that's right. The point
Yeah.
I was making, though, Austin, is that if you make a mistake on a DVD, if you make a mistake on a VHS,
Yeah.
all you have to do is rewind it,
And
and
then
it will tape over.
Yeah.
But if you make a mistake on a DVD, the DVD is shot. You've got to go back to the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah. Like there are like for people making like their own home videos and like saving like or putting pictures or like stuff they just want to show their family onto DVDs. You can buy DVD plus Rs or DVD RWs, and you can rewrite on those. You can write over things. You can delete things off of them, but those don't work very well for the television stations.
Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah. Well, that's fun. Thank you. We've got a book here called Be Perfect. That too comes from Matthew 5. It's the last sentence in chapter 5. And it's where Christ says, "Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect." What's the lowest page here?
The lowest numbered page?
Yeah, where did we leave off?
This is 43. This is 49. So 43 probably.
Okay, could you read the first box for us?
I believe this is about vectors.
Vectors?
Yeah. To a certain it's a lot more simple than math vectors and everything. So two forces acting from the same point at the same time are concurrent. If these forces act in the same direction, the resultant is maximum. If they act in opposite directions, the resultant is at a minimum. When the mind acts in the same direction as the soul, the resultant is the sum of the two forces.
That's good. Say that again. When the mind acts in...
When the mind acts in the same direction as the soul, the resultant is the sum of the two forces. Do you want me to show the diagram?
Yeah, would you
Okay,
please?
all right, yeah. Here,
Here comes Austin with the diagram.
All right, there it is. It's kind of blurry. And so yeah, it shows that like when two of the lines.
When two, they're like this, huh?
Yeah. If you have two lines and they go together, then the length is very long. But if they go in opposite directions, then they kind of cancel each other out, and you get a lot less value.
So if your mind acts opposite to your soul, it's going to cancel out.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good one. Thanks.
Yes. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, would you?
Okay. When they act together, the person has a maximum force. When the mind acts in a direction opposite the soul, the resultant is the difference between the two forces, and the person is at minimum.
We'll translate that into happiness.
So if one of the forces is say like 5, and the other one's 5, then they add up to 10. But say one of them is 5 and the other one's like -3. Since they're going in different directions, they cancel each other out, and you only get 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So the mind and the soul have to work together. That means we have to work together with God. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and everything else will come your way. I was telling Austin we do that backwards. We seek what we want, and then if we have time, we'll go to the kingdom of heaven. I was telling the Buddha set this morning, too. What you got for the next box?
The ideal is to be somebody God can trust to be loving no matter what.
The ideal is to be somebody that you can trust to be loving no matter what.
Yeah. Next one?
Well, wait a second.
Or do you want to?
Folks, do you have anybody like that? Is there anybody you have that you can trust to be loving no matter what? That's something to think about. Supposing somebody does something wrong to you.
Yeah.
I mean actually, criminal or like steal.
Yeah.
Are you going to love them? I guess so.
I mean, they probably had a reason to do it. It wasn't right, but I mean, whether they need money for food or something, that's a possibility. Or if they're just not able to control themselves, they probably have a bigger problem that should be worried about rather than the fact that they stole from you. They still shouldn't have stolen from you. It's not.
But the question is, are you going to love them, even though they did such a wrong to you? I say yes. Even though Genevieve, the great big kitty cat, chases poor little .com, I still can't help but love Genevieve. Okay, what's next?
All right. The more the mind does what should be done, the less the mind is urged to tell others what to do.
The more you do what you're supposed to do, the less motivated you are to tell others what they're supposed to do. That's good. This is page what of the Be Perfect?
43.
And this is Happiness Show number 97?
I believe so.
Number 97, yeah. Happiness Show. And do you know what number show it is altogether? 10,401
And
or
like
2?
3, I think.
3?
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, next one.
Yes, please.
All right, so the more the mind does what should be done, the less evil the mind sees. Does the answer to the question of evil lie herein? If the mind and body be single, then the eye is single?
Yeah, that's what Christ said. If the eye is single, what did he say?
If the mind and body are single, oh my goodness, then the eye is single.
That means you see good.
Yeah, if you believe and act good, you'll see good.
You think good. I try to stay away from evil. It's hard, but I try to stay with it. Don't think evil, don't speak evil, don't see evil, don't hear evil, don't do evil. I try. Well, what else we got, Austin, on the Be Perfect?
All right, so the whole is equal to the sum of the parts and is greater than any one of the parts.
Yes. The whole would be God, and it's equal to the sum of all of us. And then what's the next part?
Yeah. It's God is equal to the sum of God's part and is greater than any one of the parts.
And God, indeed.
It's like in like a I don't know, like a car or something. Like the wheels are like, I mean, you can use a wheel for something, but like a wheel is kind of useless compared to having a whole working car that has wheels. So yeah, it's kind of like that. Like wheels are helpful things, but not as helpful as a car that's working with the wheels. Yeah.
Are we down to the last one?
Yeah. Oh no, 2 more. Worship all of God, not some part of God.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And,
definitely. Yes.
Yeah. And then the last one is, the way for the body to do right is for the mind to be with the voice within.
With the voice within, the way for the body to do right?
To do right, yeah.
Is for the mind to be
with the voice within.
With the voice within. Well, thank you, Austin. Do we have our timer going?
Yeah, we've still got about 10 minutes.
Folks, I have some, here's a funny. When all is said and done, more is said than done. And I have some, this is like letters to the editor. Now, if you want to call up Glendora and leave a message, please do so. And we will play it on the TV if you want. I have several such letters of to the editor to play to you off of the, I just turned the phone off. You think I can turn it on without it ringing?
I think it's in your... Yeah.
Thanks. And let's see, have we finished that page?
Yes, that page is done.
This is a new, I wear these out, you know, because I make something like 100 telephone calls a week or more. In fact, Austin, the actual count of the number of telephone calls made since 2003, the actual count today is 34,200.
Wow.
That's a lot of telephone calls. Now, Austin, I want to go to the voicemail, so I press 1, do I?
Yeah.
I press 1. Okay.
And then call it.
And call it. And then press the speaker. This is a Samsung.
Enter your password, then press pound.
And my other phone was an LG, right, Austin?
Yes. Yeah.
Whoops.
And pound, remember?
And pound.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This number is not valid.
Okay.
Please enter your password, then press pound.
Pound. Yeah, there you go.
You have 3 new voice messages. You have 2 saved voice messages. Glendora. This is Gordon. Thank you for the call. Let's see, I've left a message with Austin. I did watch or did read the article in the account of your award and did like it again. Congratulations. Please remember to call Hostina. She is now a woman. And let's see. Can't think of anything else.
This is Dr. Gordon Vermont, who is a lecturer in psychology at the University of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. Whee! Thank you.
End of message. To erase this message, press 7.
So we will erase that one.
Message erased. Next message. Hi, Glendora. It's Victoria. I'm calling from work.
You don't mean it.
I had just snapped to do a bunch of errands. Just wanted to call you back. I called you back the other day, but said your voicemail wasn't set up.
Yeah, that's right.
I called the right number. I'm pretty sure I was calling this number. But Andrew told me about Tuesdays, and I'm going to Vermont to see my sister, meet her.
She's going to Vermont to her sister,
I cannot do that.
who works for
But,
Yale
one
University.
of the upcoming Tuesdays, I'll bring Hazel. Not sure exactly which one I can meet yet, but I'll let you know. All right, take care. Happy belated birthday to you. I hope it was wonderful.
Yeah, 85 years old.
Thanks.
So we'll delete that one, you heard it.
End of message erased. Next message. Hey, Glendora, it's Liz, and I got your message yesterday.
She's in San Diego, and she's
By the way, on your show, it opened with the same snowy scene. Remember I told you there was a house, a picnic table in front and all? It was the same scene and the scene with the snow falling down. And then, of course, it went from you inside, and there was .com. So, thank goodness they're playing the show at the right time.
San Diego.
Anyway, I have ballet today, and I work at the police station tomorrow. But
Volunteer.
if I'm home, I'd love it. Otherwise, leave a message, and I'll get back to you. Bye-bye.
What a wonderful friend in San Diego, all through television,
End of message.
all through your work.
To erase this message, press 7.
So you heard
Save
that
it,
one.
press 9. Message erased. End of new messages. To listen to your messages, press 1. To send a message, press 2. To change your...
And the first LG phone I had, folks, it was voice command, right, Austin?
Yeah.
You would press it, and you would just say to it, messages,
Yeah,
and it would play the
come up
messages?
with them, yeah.
or it would say missed calls, and it would play.
Yeah, and it would say call from and then read out their
Yeah.
name. And sometimes mispronounce it.
This is Action Line, and it's put out by the Friends of Animals. And Austin, would you just go through this and tell the folks what they're trying to, just like devocalization, that's not right for a dog or a cat to be devocalized.
Do you want me to just like
tell them what they're talking about? Yeah, each article, tell them.
So the first article is about pesticides being used so much that they might actually spread to people's lawns and like affect the like the animals and the wildlife, like even like in our yards, not just like on the farms and stuff.
Cats and dogs too?
Cats and dogs, like spiders, birds.
Pesticides.
Yeah.
And when we eat them, that's pretty bad.
Oh yeah, yeah. Then they're talking about how there's like 7 billion people in the world now. So they're
7
talking
billion people in the world.
Yeah, so they're talking about how some of the ways that we make food are inefficient.
No wonder you can't find a parking place.
Yeah, yeah. So it's saying basically that you should buy food that is closer to you because it saves gas, like because it doesn't have to get shipped as far, and because we're gonna use up all the gas if we're not careful.
Help save the environment.
Yeah, talks about how like meat products and stuff. They require a lot of food to feed the cows, and not like and pigs and other animals, and you don't get that much food out of each one.
Acres and acres and acres.
Yeah, yeah. So instead, that food could go to people, and they would have just like enough to eat fine.
Yeah, another thing, if you eat animals, folks, you're getting your protein secondhand. Whereby, if you eat your protein firsthand from wheats and grains and legumes. You're getting it firsthand. And nuts. That's the highest protein, and soybeans and things like that.
All right, this next article is about how there's wolves out in like some of the national parks, and it's not being handled very well, like because they want to keep people and some of the other animals safe from them. But this talks about how they're not doing a good job of it and how they're doing like inhumane things. I don't know all the specifics. I haven't gotten to read through the whole thing.
This is Friends of Animals, action in mind.
Yeah. Let's see. This one talks about how some people will get surgeries done to their dogs and cats, so that like called devocalization, which means like they can't really use their vocal cords anymore. So like it'll keep like dogs from barking and like cats from
inhumane.
Yeah, and they're talking about like how it's really like not a humane thing to do, and how it really
taking away their claws.
Yeah,
too.
affects the animals badly. They have like a lot of like arguments for why it's a bad thing, like about how
just
like if a dog is like needs to bark at something or needs to make it known, like if it has to go to the bathroom or if a strange person is approaching and it's nervous, it has to. If it can't bark, then no one really has any notice to what it's thinking or feeling.
Or prima facie, right on the face of it, it's a bad thing. There's no way to justify it. I wish people would stop exploiting animals. There's an article in there about a vegan too, isn't there?
I think we're almost out of time for this.
Oh, we gotta say goodbye?
Yeah.
Oh. See you again? Arrivederci? Auf Wiedersehen? Au revoir? What's goodbye in Spanish?
Adios.
Adios, amigos. Hi there, everybody. This is Happiness Show number 98, Austin.
Yeah, 98 something, all
This
right.
is my pal and my technologist, Austin. And Austin, we were telling the folks about an organization called Friends of Animals. And they put out this lovely magazine. And they stand up for animals all over the place, don't they, Austin?
Mm-hmm.
What was this one you were reading about, a vegan?
All right, so I left off last time. I just talked about devocalization. Now this next article is about how there's a lot of like vegan food trucks popping up all over the place.
Food trucks.
Yeah, they'll like drive to like a town center or like a farmer's market or heavily populated areas, and then they'll just like park the car and then open the side and sell food directly out of the car.
Have you seen any of those?
Yes, I haven't. There's one. My Northeastern owns one, and it's specifically for the campus. But I've seen other ones too, though. It's a pretty big thing in the cities.
Oh, good. Vegan food. Oh, we have to explain what vegan is. Vegan is vegetarian and also no animal products.
Yeah, it includes like honey and wool.
Yeah, no
eggs,
wool,
all that
no
stuff,
honey. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they're talking. Yeah, they have a couple different ones. I'm looking to see if there's any. There's a big thing with raw food too, like in New York. It's something to do with like juice and non-cooked
Juice
items and stuff.
Well, my diet's pretty much raw, Austin. It really is.
It's generally like trail mix and stuff, and you don't have to cook that.
Trail mix is the last thing I ate. The first thing is a salad, like lettuce and cucumber and celery, a salad. Then the second thing is an orange or an apple or a cantaloupe or something like that. That's raw, isn't it? And then comes peanut butter and crackers. You can't call that raw, can you?
Essentially, well, it's not. Oh, actually, the crackers are baked, I think.
Yeah. And then comes granola. That's sort of raw. It's baked though, isn't it?
I don't really know much about the making of granola.
And then comes the nut fruit shake. Can you tell the folks what the nut fruit shake is?
It's almonds we use, right?
No, cashews.
Cashews. So you take cashews and and we put in like pineapple juice, right? So
Yep.
we put in a lot of cashews, pineapple juice, and yeast too, right?
No.
No?
A half a cup of cashews, a half a cup of oats.
Oats, okay.
Oats.
And then
I use Quaker oats,
yeah.
old-fashioned oats.
And then you fill the blender the rest of the way up with with pineapple juice.
Yeah, and you also have the banana.
Oh, wait, I don't think we used a banana.
Yeah, we did.
We did?
Remember you said it was hard?
Oh yeah. We used
So it's only those four things: no sugar, no salt. And I'm telling you, friendly stewards, nobody can make a better
Yeah,
shake.
it's pretty good. You just gotta make sure you chop it up, like you keep it blending for a long time, because we made the mistake of stopping too early, and my straw kept getting clogged up with chunks of cashew. So, but yeah, make sure it's blended very fine.
Couple minutes. Okay, and anything else in there that we want to tell the folks?
They have a cheers and jeers section. There, the
letters to the editor?
these are by the people who work there. It's like, cheers, they say something that they think someone did good, and jeers, things they think people did bad. Good things, they had James Cameron, the director of Titanic, became vegan.
Good.
Because he realized, how he talked last time about how the environment is, like vegan and vegetarian diets are far better for the environment because they don't take up as much food.
Yeah, okay.
And he's a very avid environmentalist.
Space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Takes a lot of space to feed a poor cow, make it grow up, and then murder it and torture it and butcher it and bludgeon it and electric prods. You don't need that. This Friends of Animals was started by Alice Harrington, and I remember her. She, of course, is gone to heaven now. But I remember her in New York City, how she did the hopeless job of rescuing stray cats and dogs in New York City. And now it's coming out of Norwalk, Connecticut, Darien. That's where David Letterman lives. Darien, Connecticut. David Letterman was caught going 100 miles an hour on the Hutchinson River Parkway in Harrison, and he was brought to court. They used to tape when it was on NBC, they used to tape Letterman at 7 o'clock in the evening. And then they'd sit around and talk about the next day's show, and then he'd a Maine to Darien, Connecticut, and they caught him going 100 miles an hour on the Hutchinson River Parkway.
Wow. All right. They also talk about the musician Morrissey. I think he was in the Smiths. He went on the Colbert Report, which is a show on it's kind of like a show on Comedy Central where they talk about politics. I mean, but they try to make humor out of it. But they still do cover some serious issues, and they make points using humor though.
Yeah. You don't have to make it funny. Yeah. It already is.
Yeah. And I think he's been at least a vegetarian, if not a vegan, for a really long time, since the 80s.
Yeah.
He's been outspoken about it for a while, and he just talked about it on the show. And he requested that when he came that there would be a meat-free studio environment. So if they had snacks out on a table or something, he requested that anything that they put out didn't have any meat involved.
Really?
Yeah. And the last one was Anne Hathaway, the actress. She was in Les Mis, which is a movie that came out recently based on a play that was based on a book.
By Victor Hugo.
Yeah.
Les Miserables.
And
Miserables.
Yeah. I'm not good at pronouncing French. But she made sure her entire costumes in the movie were all vegan.
Really?
So they said that was good.
Not made from animals.
And then things they think were bad was
No fur.
There's a Montana legislator named.
Oh, it's bad. I don't want to hear.
Oh, it has to do with the wolves.
Yeah.
He just was opposing legislation to keep them safe. And then a movie. They were filming a movie or something, and they went in a big cave, and a bunch it was a cave that thousands and thousands of bats lived in. And they scared the bats so badly that most of them didn't come back, and they probably died or something.
Oh.
So yeah,
That's not
the
nice.
people who made the magazine are very upset about that.
Good for you, Friends of Animals.
And then I think there's only one or two more. There's only one more article, and it's about bears. It's
Not
talking
being
about how
cruel to
what's it
bears.
like what they do when they walk into towns and stuff, and how to prevent them from like being in a dangerous situation without being cruel to them and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's what
Well, the best way is to feed them.
Well, but that encourages them to come back, and then like they
Well,
could
feed them out of town.
Oh, okay. Well,
Feed them in their own environment.
yeah.
I go and feed the animals down here, folks. I give them peanut butter and crackers every morning.
The only problem is the bears might follow you back. I mean, like, there's a difference between feeding deer and like feeding bears. yeah, because bears have the potential. They're generally shy and they try to stay away from people, but they could be dangerous if they got close.
What about my teddy bears? Teddy bears.
That's a little bit of a different story. And then the last pages are just like T-shirts and hats and stuff.
Oh, okay. Thank you for doing that. Friends of Animals. Now, I just wanted to tell you, folks, that I have stopped contributing to other animal organizations that help dogs and cats, though I truly love them. The reason why is that dogs and cats kill my friends, such as baby rabbits, baby squirrels, little mice. Those are my friends. I love them. So I have 2 cats. I keep them in the house. They don't hurt anybody. They don't get hurt. So now I'm giving all of my money, I think, to the American Vegan Society.
Are you gonna send any of the Friends of the Animals too? Because they
I'll keep.
because they worry about like the bears and the bats and,
Yeah,
and
I will.
birds and insects and stuff because of the
Yeah,
pesticides.
yeah.
Some of the groups are very like broad reaching.
But in the mailbox every day, there's maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3. Please send us money. It gets to be overwhelming, and then they give your name and address to somebody else. And then you get more, like the Animal Wild Defense Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, PETA, all kinds of Animal Haven, and the Humane Society of the City of New York, and all this mail coming in, 2 or 3 a day. So all the money's going to the American Vegan Society. Why? Because they don't believe in harming anybody. Okay. Did you want to tell the folks about the SS Glendora and these boys? I had this children's show from 1955 to 1962 on General Electric, WRGB Schenectady. And the children would come on the show and they'd dress up as little sailors, and I was the skipper. It was called the SS Glendora, which stood for steamship, and the kids said it stood for stupid show. And so the kids would write in and be on. Well, these 4 boys decided to go on the show all together, 4 of them, and wreck it. Wasn't that it?
Something to do with that. They wanted to. Do you want me to read it?
Yes.
Okay. This is I'm always happy to catch Glendora on cable. I'm 65 years old now, and when we were in 7th grade, around 52 years ago, we 4 cool friends decided to go on the SS Glendora show just for a joke. The rehearsal and prep for the show, however, was so carefully done, and Glendora was so nice to us that we couldn't do anything other than play it straight.
Play it straight.
Yeah. The boldest we 4 wise guys got was winking at the camera when we donned our Glendora caps and introduced ourselves. Chief Mate Joe Johnson reporting for duty, ma'am. Wink, wink. Otherwise, we were perfect and even nervous angels. We wanted everything to turn out
Nervous
right.
singles?
Angels.
Angels.
Yeah.
Nervous angels.
Yeah. We wanted everything to turn out right. We did some skit where 4 arms and 2 heads were poked out of a big Navy surplus raincoat and did a tug of war with a huge white rope and a few other routines. Glendora treated us all with respect, and we couldn't help but return the kindness. A few weeks after the show, we received a small set of black and white photos she had taken of us, all grinning, all happy as could be. 52 years ago, and I remember more from that hour than I do from some of my college classes. Of the other 3 pals, one passed away recently after a long career as a high school teacher and an Irish Christian brother, and I've lost touch with the other 2.
Oh. By the way, this is from did they say what area it was from? Albany area?
He might go into later.
Albany, New York
I'm
area.
not sure though. Yeah, somewhere near Albany, maybe one of the surrounding towns. When Glendora jokes that SS stood for stupid show to the kids, she knows, I hope, that she made it more than that. She gave the experience meaning and dignity, certainly for us by treating us with good humor, patience, and respect.
Random thought 1. We had no idea that Glendora was, even at that point in her career, such an accomplished and adventurous spirit. Read about her on Wikipedia.
Really?
Yeah. And random memory 2. Glendora had a contest where she gave away a black and white 10-inch TV worth about $100 to the kid who could send in a product label from the farthest away point on the East Coast. We were bringing labels into school to figure out whose was farthest away.
Educational.
My brother and I were scratching labels off of cans at home, and even the corners of labels from cans in the A and P. The best we could do was Orlando.
Well, that's pretty good.
I think some kid won with a marmalade label his grandmother sent him from Key West. Long live and God bless Glendora.
Thank you so much. And no signatures, no names?
I think it was Joe Johnston was his name, because he quoted himself in that.
And he didn't give an address or anything?
No.
And where did this appear on the internet? Isn't the internet wonderful?
Someone sent it to Jim Talbot, I think, right?
Yeah. And Jim Talbot, he was 8 years old when he started on the SS Glendora as a little assistant. And it propelled him into a career now as a filmmaker in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, he's got like lots of like films, and he mostly does independent films. I think,
Yes,
right?
he did a lot of things for Sesame Street.
Oh wow.
And yeah. Well, that is good. I want to ask you this, folks. At least a couple of times a week, and I think Austin has witnessed this, somebody will come up and say, I want to ask you a question. Can you figure what the question is? Did you have a TV show about 50 years ago? Yes. Well, I watched it, and I loved it, and they'll go on talking about all their memories. So, folks, I'm going to ask you, do you think that we should have a reunion? We should put notice in the paper saying that Glendora is having a convocation of all the Glendora, SS Glendora and Satellite 6 fans from 1955 to 1962. We'll just get together and have our memories. Do you think we should do that? Okay, Austin, where do we go next? This is American Vegan. What kind of articles do they have, dear?
Here, let me see. I'll pick through it. These are they have ads for some big festivals and meetings, like the
Are they vegan festivals?
Yeah. I think it's an old issue, because it has like an Indian vegan festival in India from September.
India, a vegan festival.
September 27th to 30th. Oh, 2013. Oh, maybe it is recent.
It is a recent issue, dear.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. At
How much is it cost?
Prajna Vegan Center.
In India.
Yeah, in India.
For all over the world.
Yeah. It's mostly for people in India, but the international one was in San Francisco in October, and they have pictures from it. Just,
okay.
I mean, I don't know any of the people that are in the pictures, but they all look like they're having a very good time. They have progress of vegan vegetarian organizations. They talk about how easy it is to be vegan, and how the fact that it's become a more known way of eating, that there are a lot of people catering towards it. There's a lot more vegan restaurants. You can buy at the store frozen vegan substitute foods, like vegan hamburgers that are made from soy and grain, and
my cats are
kind of
vegetarian, folks. Oh yeah. There's a product called the Tender Bits by Worthington Foods, and it's made from grain. And they just love these Tender Bits sprinkled over with nutrition yeast. And they have eaten 2, 3, they're on their 3rd can since last Friday, 3 days ago. This is Monday. My cat's a vegetarian. You're a vegetarian, aren't you?
Yeah. They're talking about vegan fashion shows where they use things that are they use artificial wool, so that they don't so it doesn't involve sheep hair. They use fake fur, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, fake fur is beautiful.
Yeah. Dating vegans.
Dating vegans.
I don't think it's a something to read about, to learn how to date a vegan. I think it's a story, and so you're supposed to learn from reading about their experience or something. recipes, dining halls, like
read
at
me the title
universities.
of recipe.
Pumpkin medley pie,
Ooh,
berry choco cheesecake.
ooh. No cheese though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It uses tofu. It's not like it's like a
Tofu, yeah.
yeah, a substitute cheese.
Tofuti is a substitute ice cream. Is a vegan ice cream.
There's a lot of recipes. Talking about how cooking is like important for like everybody to learn how to do.
Rice Dream is another ice cream. Rice Dream is made out of rice.
That kind of rhymes. Arthritis approaches using like.
Oh yeah, arthritis. That arthritis, folks, it comes from, no doubt about it in my mind, cholesterol. That cholesterol.
It has to do with like the wearing of the cartilage around bone joints.
Yeah.
And how it'll wear away and then it'll just be bone on bone and it'll hurt a lot. So he's talking about like vegetarian and vegan supplements you can take that can help reduce the pain, reduce the breakdown of cartilage, or I think maybe restoring it, but I'm not sure.
Have you ever seen them take strips of cholesterol out of veins? I saw a picture of it. The surgery was being done, and here's the artery, and here's a strip of cholesterol coming out of it that plugged up the artery. That, of course, made heart trouble. That, of course, makes the joint swell and gives you arthritis. I think that a plant-based diet will keep you from having heart trouble, cancer, diabetes, arthritis. Can you think of anything else? No, that's a pretty good list.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just like only vegetables and stuff. Like you have to use like big beans and like grains and that kind of stuff. Beans are really good because they have protein in them.
High protein.
Yeah, and that's really important because if you're
and first-hand protein, not second-hand protein.
Yeah. They have a lot of recipes. They have a thing about talking about like making like bean dip and carrot cake with their kids.
I'd love to go down there, and they're in Malaga, New Jersey, and it's way down by the tip end of New Jersey, isn't it?
I think it's
Way,
like 2/3 the way down New Jersey from the city.
Even below Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's right below how Pennsylvania has that line along the bottom of the state. It's like, and then New Jersey's right next to it. It's like right below that line.
Yeah.
They have alternative father-son activities besides fishing, so that don't involve
That's a
like
cruel thing.
like camping, canoeing,
How
bird
would you like
watching,
to be hungry and you take something to eat and you get a hook in your mouth?
road trips, playing sports. So it's basically like it's just like suggesting that you do other things, but so that like you don't like affect the fish. More cooking. They have so much cooking stuff in this one. This one is very like, I mean, it makes sense. It's specifically focusing on being a vegan as opposed to all animal rights problems and stuff.
This mother said to her daughter, "Did you thank Mrs. Baxter for the nice birthday party that she gave the children?" And the little girl says, "Well, I was standing in line. I was going to thank her. The girl in front of me thanked her. Mrs. Baxter says, don't mention it, so I didn't." These are joy books. Joy book is a great idea. You write down what God tells you to do with the day, and then you write down what you did with the day. And of course, it's great for keeping notes and times and money and things like that. And what are some of the things that you have on your to-do list what are the things that you've done already since you got home from college?
Let's see.
Your birthday's in November. You'll be 20?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are some of the things we've got done already?
Where's my mark off page? It's the right book. I don't know if this is the right book.
Yeah,
it has that.
it is. These are things, see the big check mark? See the big check mark?
Here. Okay, I thought you meant the one I wrote.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's right.
So we organized some file drawers.
Organized file drawers.
Yes.
Have you cleaned out your drawers lately?
So we moved your phone. We ported your phone number to your new phone.
We went straight talk. I love straight talk.
We looked into the Android. We
Pastor Stonis's videos on YouTube. We're putting the videos up for Philly right now, for Philly Cam.
Yeah, would you stop and tell the folks that process? How I give you the program, A Chat with Glendora, on a DVD disc, and then what do you do
Yeah,
with it?
so I rip it off of I take it off the DVD disc, and if it comes off in in the whole episode all together, I just drag it over to a website that Philly Cam set up, and they get and it puts it on the internet, and then they have access to it, so we don't have to ship them DVDs.
Isn't that wonderful? That's called digital file?
File uploading. There's a lot of names for it, like online file transfer. FTP is, I think, file transfer protocol. That's another one. There's a lot of different words for it, but it's becoming fairly commonplace.
You see, I have the 68 TV stations, and there's 6 TV stations who can take it digitally or electronically or by the internet. Only 6 out of 68 TV stations. They thought that it was going to sweep the country, but it hasn't.
Let's see what else.
On the list.
We looked at your Facebook page.
No, but we didn't.
Oh no, yeah, you did.
No,
Oh
we
yeah, no,
didn't.
yeah, I forgot. You whited out the check mark, right? So we uploaded more videos to YouTube. We put up a video that Jim Talbot sent us. It's like a small documentary.
He's the one who became a filmmaker because he was on a chat with Glendora when he was 8 years old.
Let's see. We went over the die instructions.
Yeah, the die instructions.
We moved the museum.
Oh, that's the big thing. Do you want to see a video of that? We made a video of it.
Yeah, we could probably put that
It's
in
a
one of the next
53-foot
episodes.
box trailer. And it has 5,000 videos in it, 4,000 audios, and all of the court papers to make sure that the cable companies did not stop public access, which is a law.
All right. We went.
Clean the copy machine.
Yeah.
It was
The
all
copy
plugged
machine
up.
got jammed, and I unclogged it.
That
we
was amazing how you
went
did
shopping at Walmart. We went to the bank.
That was $500.
Let's see.
We put it in and we took some out.
Yeah. We deposited Glendora's checks and we took out some cash. We visited Tracy.
Yeah, Tracy is our other trustee who's going to take care of things when this great body goes, when it goes, and when something else goes to heaven, whatever that is.
That's it for the big things. There's
Yeah,
been a lot of
that's
other
it.
little things, but that's most of the big stuff.
Well then, how are we doing on time? What's it say we have?
We still have
coming?
another 3 minutes or so.
3 minutes. Well, I think I'm going to sing you a hymn. And it's a hymn about God and how God must love his earth. Don't you think God just loves his earth? He put so much into it, 5 billion years making it, and he put soil in it, right? And out of the soil comes this beautiful green grass in April, and these beautiful 100-foot tall weeping willow, the weeping cherries, the daffodils, the jonquils, the hyacinths, the magnolia trees. How much God must love his world? Well, this song says so. This is our Father's world. Oh, let me ne'er forget that though the wrong seems oft so strong, God is the ruler yet. He trusts us with his world to keep it clean and fair. The rocks, the trees, the skies, the seas, all creatures everywhere. Thank you, folks. Anything that we can do for you, we would love to do. And there's a joke about that. Bob says, my brother and I, there's nothing I wouldn't do for my brother, and there's nothing he wouldn't do for me, and we go through life doing nothing for each other. So take care, and all the best to you. I enjoyed visiting with you, Austin. You want to say goodbye to the folks?
Yeah, I'm sure I'll appear in another episode or two in the future, so I'm sure you'll be seeing me again.
Grace and peace.
I think we do have another couple minutes because I set the timer and we talked for a minute or so. So we have another. Do we have any final topics?
I think that's sort of an anticlimax.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think we can end it here.
I'll go back and say again, grace and peace unto you from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
All right.
Folks, you're looking at paradise. This is paradise. This is the Garden of Eden. It's beautiful, isn't it? Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it a great creation? Isn't God a great creator? Today, folks, I'm going to walk into paradise. Today, I'm going to walk into paradise. The time has come. It's been 8 decades. It's been grand. It has been beautiful. And I promised God that I would try, when it happened, to be 3 things. Cheerful, happy, and grateful. Thankful. And I'm sorry for all of the things that I did wrong. I'm sorry for all of the wrong I did people, all the mistakes I made. But I have taken the rap for them, and I should. I wish that I hadn't done them. But I still believe that you seek first the kingdom of God and everything else will be beautiful. Everything else will follow. That is so true. So again, I thank you and thank you and thank you. And I give you love and happiness and cheer and beauty and perfection and power and harmony and peace and the vitality of God, the variety that God gives, and the colors and the greatness, and how God loves us and loves this world that He created. So love to you all, and remember, it's a perfect, beautiful life. Don't you ever complain. Don't you ever complain. You just give thanks. Remember, count 15 blessings every hour, and rejoice about something every minute. Excuse me, every quarter of an hour, rejoice about something. Amen. I'm going now. Bye-bye. God be with you. I will tell you folks that one of the myriads I will tell you folks that one of the myriads of glories that our Father makes is dandelions. You go from here to there. What a mechanism. What a design. And so abundant, so overflowing fullness. I never cease to admire dandelions. What are you doing today, God? Do you have a list? Do you have a schedule? You're making the universe larger. You're expanding the universe. You are making better creatures than we are. Smarter, nicer, kinder, happier, better companions to you. You're making beautiful blue skies and beautiful green trees. You're making beautiful backyards and wetlands. And our little pal Austin won't be to work until 10 o'clock. But in the meantime, I would like to thank the Nassau Reformed Church for the announcement in their Sunday bulletin. Hi there. Our congratulations to Glendora, who was recently awarded the Clara Limlek Social Activist Award, given to someone who has worked for the larger good of the community during his or her life. No, it's only her life. It's a woman's award. Glendora received the award 3 weeks ago in the Museum of the City of New York. Thank you, Pastor Van Campen. And also he announced it live from the pulpit, and all of the people shared in it and applauded. Oh, thank you so much, folks. The doors in the athletic department of the college, the sign on one door said, if you're too tall to go through this door, report to the basketball coach. If you're too wide, they go through this door, report to the football coach. And if you took a bite out of this door, report to the hockey coach. Your blue sky, God. Your blue dome. Your green trees. A BA, you know what BA stands for, a Bachelor of Arts. You know what BS stands for. You know what MBA stands for? That stands for more bad advice. And you know what PhD stands for? Piled higher and deeper. New girlfriend to new boyfriend. What do you do for a living? New boyfriend. I'm on the cutting edge of technology. And his buddies explained to her, yes, he mows the lawn at IBM. Medical school had a cheer for the football team. Guess what the cheer of the medical school was? Hypodermic, hypodermic. Hypodermic, what's that mean? Stick it to him. I wouldn't marry you, she said, if you were the last man on earth. And he said, that's right, honey, you'd get crushed in the rush. How do you like your rice? The young man said to the young lady when they went out to dinner. You like your rice fried or boiled? And she said, thrown. Honey, I'm not much to look at, said the man engaged to the lady. And she said, well, that's all right, dear. You'll be in the office most of the time. Has anybody ever told you how wonderful you are? The new girlfriend said to the new boyfriend. He said, no. She said, well, where'd you get the big idea? Bill says that his daughter is still looking for the perfect guy to marry. And I tell her, stop looking, honey. Your mother got the last one. Doc, the patient said to the dentist, you still have not pulled the right tooth. And the dentist said, nope, but I'm getting closer. And did you hear about the dentist who married the manicurist? Now they fight tooth and nail. And the second day of your diet is always the easiest. That's the day that you go off of it. When the teacher was out of the room, the little boy wrote on the blackboard, I'm the best kisser in this class. When the teacher came back, she said, did you write that? He said, yes. She said, you'll have to stay after school. And later, a little girl said, see, it doesn't pay to misbehave. And the little boy says, nope, but it paid to advertise. The advertising salesman was trying to sell a general store in Vermont, an advertisement. And the owner says, well, this place has been here 100 years. I don't think we have to tell anybody where it is. And the ad salesman says, you see that church up there in the hill? They've been here 150 years, but they ring the bell every morning, every Sunday morning. You can die old at 30, or you can die young at 80. Is the water in your town hard? Peter says the water in his hometown is so hard you have to chew it before you can swallow it. Is it true, Mummy, that I am made of mud? Mummy, yes. Little girl, then how come when I go swimming I don't get muddy? Oh, I think I told that to you wrong. I don't know if it's worth salvaging or not. Is it true, Mummy, that I am made of dust? Yes. then how come when I go swimming I don't get muddy? Do you know why the baby shoe was crying? Why was the baby shoe crying? His mother was a sneak and his daddy was a loafer. Did you know that computers are in the Bible? Yes. Eve said to Adam, "Do you want an apple too?" Now, I told you about the TV stations are too lazy to make a little documentary of their lifetime work and show it to you people in my other 68 TV stations. I recorded this for you and I kept it for days, and finally it got erased by mistake. It was a telephone call and this woman said, she called from San Jose. And that's the last of our expansion. That's the last of our TV stations, top 10 markets, 68 altogether. And she says, "Oh, Glendora, you're wonderful. I love you. I live in San Jose, California. I happen to turn on the TV, channel 22, and you were talking about and it wasn't clear. It wasn't clear to her what I was talking about. It wasn't probably clear to me. And your number came up, oh, I think you're something, oh, you're wonderful, I wish I could be a movie producer. And I would follow you around. My name is Lisa. It's such a joy and a delight. And I have your number, and I'll call every once in a while. God bless you, Glendora. God bless you." That was on Thursday, April 25th at 7 p.m. The program is on at 4 p.m. or 3:30 to 4 p.m. in San Jose. Thank you, Create TV in San Jose. The message was 25 seconds. And I'll have to do a better job of video these events and not erase them for you. This is Be Perfect. This is a book that will help you with your relationship with God. And your relationship with God is what? Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all else will follow. Seek ye first God, and all else will follow. Don't go anywhere without God. Don't do anything without God. That's nice. Do you know any mystics? Do you know any people who are perfect? Do you know any saints? Do you know any angels? Be perfect comes from Matthew 5. It's the last sentence in Matthew chapter 5. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. Now let's see what this says. It's apparently saying when two waves are at the same wavelength, and one is small and one is large, they go simultaneously and they add up their power and their force, so that when you, God, wave, and yourself wave are in sync, you add up the power and the joy and the happiness, the wealth, the success, the health, the perfection that you can exude. Thank you, be perfect. The love has abundant room to move without calling, without colliding with clutter that should not be in the mind. Get the clutter out of the mind. Get hate out of the mind. Get vengeance out of the mind. Get negative thought out of the mind. Just be happy and stay with God. So God, what are you doing today? I wish we were smart enough to be somebody that God could talk to intelligently, or that we could receive it intelligently. Think the biggest thoughts and learn the biggest truths. All right? Think the biggest thoughts and learn the biggest truths. Never mind negative thoughts. Never mind ugly thoughts. Never mind selfish thoughts. All right, Abraham Lincoln. Had a hold on a something for which others long. Lincoln got this hold from inside. You know, that's very true. Even Jesus Christ got his greatness from inside. Buddha got his greatness from inside. What's that mean? You sit down quietly and listen to God. The sunshine on this purple paisley is making my legs purple with the heat. The appeal of New Salem Village is as a place where a wandering youth thought through to the goals of life, started work on these goals, defined ideals and hopes, and accomplished the first steps on all of these. That's why it's nice to read the biography of Abraham Lincoln in New Salem, Illinois. By the way, Abraham Lincoln's grandfather, great-grandfather, came over on the ship from England to Hingham, Massachusetts, 18 years after the Pilgrims, 1620. They came in 1638. They had the passenger list, and the Lincolns were on the same ship as the Folsoms. My Folsom, Ralph Arnold Folsom, my dad. And they went way out to Illinois, and my Folsoms went north to Exeter, New Hampshire, and henceforth into Maine. Isn't that interesting? They went northeast, and the Lincolns went west. The appeal of the home in Springfield, Illinois is a place is all quietly to think, read, learn, write, grow, thereby teaching greatness. Was this greatness known as intimately as Lincoln yearned? Did Lincoln feel through time that he was one with the greatness that he wanted? I don't suppose you ever consummate it, do you? Isn't there no end to it? Isn't there no height to it? No stopping point? Just goes on and on. Oh, wait, I forgot one of our rules. One of our rules is that we don't think about the future and we don't think about the past. We put all concentration right on the present. The Holy Spirit is within. The mind can be with the Holy Spirit anytime desired. Nobody but the person, that's you, has control over this. Here is real independence. social adjustment and civic order result only from loving. Really, that's what it is. You can call it whatever you want, but it's really loving. It's loving one another. Love synthesizes and unifies, takes away the scattering, replaces superficiality with concentration, replaces mistakes with gracefulness, alienation with oneness, anxiety with peace, and doubt with success, and doubt with certainty. Being ethical and being moral and being polite are taken care of by being what? Oh wait, you got it, loving. Everything is taken care of by being loving. Page 44 of Be Perfect. Just as I am without one plea, but that thy blood was shed for me, and that thou bidst me come to thee, O Lamb of God, I come, I come. When all is said and done, more is said than done. And here's another page of Perfect. By the way, this is printed on plastic. I would like to bring your attention to this article that was in a little local paper here about my beloved Pat Sarr, the librarian for the Nassau Free Library for 15 years. The article closes with her statement, "My heart will always be there, and it always will be in the library." She had that knack of friendliness and kindness and goodness, and that knack of wanting to help you. The minute I walked into that library for the first time, I knew she was a librarian, because librarians are like that. And she was just jolly and good-natured and smart and helpful. She would go the extra mile anytime. Okay, I think it's time to say bye-bye. The Roman Catholic Church in Nassau, St. Mary's, has a very good thing in it. Their Bible lesson for last Sunday was love one another. Such has been my love for you. That's what Christ said. Love one another, such has been my love for you. Or I have heard it. Love one on top. This is my commandment to you. You love one another as I have loved you.